What's up, everybody? We are here doing our first tasting of some mead. One of the vital parts of us making mead is tasting other meads from around the country to try and get a grasp on what we want to do and what flavours we enjoy. We have got Hive Mind here. We've got their staple mead right here, which is the high alcohol one. And then we've got their, what would you call it? More like daily drink. Although you shouldn't really
daily
drink
drink.
You should drink it daily. 4% fizzy. It's a bit more of a party
beer,
drink,
yeah.
you know, a bit more of a, this is more of a chill, relaxed drink. This is more of a party drink. We ordered it online and we got it through. I'll post some pictures of the boxing that it came in. I think the boxing was relatively nice. I did order the 6 different flavors in the fizzy in bottles, and they sent one of the flavors in a can. For review purposes, I think this has actually worked like as a benefit for us because we can taste what it's like in a can as well. I don't know.
Too.
Sorry, go on.
This looks really good too.
It does look really good, and I don't know whether people would be annoyed with that, but again, for the review purpose, I think it's kind of worked to our benefit.
And we can see like the difference between like the glass bottles, the cans, see what works for us too.
Yeah, and see what works for us. So let's talk firstly about the label. I think that if we talk about this staple product, which has won awards, this one, the picture on this label, and I remember watching a video, I'll post the picture up a bit closer so you can see it. The video it was them talking about they got a local artist to do this label, and I think the quality of the label and the visuals on this bottle is pretty stunning.
Yeah, I like it. The name alone as well, like the name of the brand, Hive Mind, really good name. I think it's really clever.
Yeah.
Oh, there's even sediment in there too.
Yeah, it doesn't look perfectly clear, but I think that's not a big, like I'm not a big fan of perfectly clear alcohol. I think it's fine to have a little bit of something in there. It just shows that it's a bit rougher around the edge, and I do like that. 14.5%. You ready to taste this one?
Definitely.
Once we've done this one, we'll talk about the labels on the fizzy one and go from there. Mm-hmm. I don't want to ruin this beautiful.
There we go.
All right, let's do a bit of a smell first. Okay. Very much, obviously this is their staple mead. It's very honey.
Oh yeah.
Very honey.
More than I thought it would, no?
Yeah, I've tasted other meads in America. This is the first time I've tasted one in the UK. And I'm definitely getting way more honey from it, which is pretty nice.
My only experience with mead at the minute, really, is the sort of mead wine that we had in Colorado.
Yeah, and if you haven't watched the introduction video yet, I highly recommend you go and check that out because it'll have a bit of an explanation on how we got into mead and how we kind of found ourselves on this new YouTube channel. So if you haven't already, I'll leave a link somewhere. You can go and check out the introduction video.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Bloody hell, that's good.
That's really good. Bloody hell. Is that our new scale? Bloody hell. Bloody hell.
Bloody lovely.
How many bloody hells does this get? Out of 5 bloody hells?
This is going to be like the first experience of like a high alcohol mead.
Yeah.
So this is going to be like the go-to.
This is going to be like the goal of a lot of things, because this is...
That is lovely.
You would expect
So
something at a high percentage of 14.5 to burn a lot more.
Yeah, it doesn't at all.
It's really smooth.
Yeah. Like the main flavour is literally just the honey, and it's so nice.
Wow, it's incredibly smooth. It's not what I expected. So I have tasted some meads in the US. Obviously, I didn't review any of these ones. And every time I got a mead that was over the 10%, which for a regular mead, it's usually anywhere between 10 to 20%. It's very rare that you get these, you know, lower percentage fizzy ones, which they've definitely marketed like a more modern audience for this. So this is smack bang in the middle, but the ones I tasted in America were way more pungent and way more strong on the tongue, whereas this definitely isn't. I'm going to go in for one last little taste.
Go on then. But yeah, no harshness to it at all. Like,
I'm very impressed.
again, the only experience I have at the minute with mead is that one that we had in Colorado. That had some harshness to it.
It did have harshness to it.
I guess that one was much more of a wine than a mead. This one's just smooth as hell.
Wow, I'm really impressed with that. Out of 5, I would definitely give that a 4.5. I would give it a 4.5.
Yeah. I mean, this is my first experience, and we're off to a really good start.
I can see why it's won awards as well.
Yeah.
The label's fantastic. The production of everything on it is actually fantastic. Even the back of it's fantastic. I can read off a little bit of the back if you would like. 1.7 million flowers visited, 70,000 bee miles flown for the honey in this bottle. From the hills, meadows, hedgerows, and woodlands of the Wye, is that how you say it? Wye Valley?
Why, fella?
The honey in this bottle has been lovingly harvested by our hard-working honeybees, sweet, rich, and moorish. This is a bottle of liquid gold, definitely is. Beautifully balanced with rich florals and heather notes. Perfect for the mead enthusiasts and those who love to try something new. Did you know mead was historically presented to newlyweds to enjoy during what we would now call honeymoon? Mead was thought by many to be an elixir of health, fertility, longevity, and instill good luck. Always brewed on 100% honey, batch 30, best before 1025. Lasts quite a bit. So 10.2 units per bottle, 1.8 units per glass. And it has won awards, and I can definitely see why, because this is one to beat now.
Yeah. Definitely a really great start for our first start of tasting. Yeah, I like the idea that this company does both a traditional style of mead and the beers. And coming from the drinks industry as well, I know that Wye Valley does have a couple of like cask ale breweries and stuff like that. So,
I've seen that as well.
yeah.
They actually do real beers as well, which is very interesting. So they definitely mix their expertise between the two. I can see that this bottle, it goes down very easy. And I can see that this is something that would get you absolutely wasted.
I could drink that, and I'm not much of like a drinker. I'll drink maybe once every 2 months. Mostly beer, but if I was to sort of like have an evening to relax and chill out, straight to like a glass of that, it'd be lovely.
Yeah, I agree. Well, we're off to a good start.
Yeah.
Now for the modern stuff. Now, I watched an interview with them and they said that they really wanted to bring mead to a modern audience, which is definitely what they've done with these. Let's go over the flavours real quick. We've got honey and hops.
We've also got sparkling mead pure honey,
We have honey and rhubarb.
honey and ginger,
Honey and elderflower.
and then we also have honey and sour cherry, which I reckon this is going to be one of my favourites.
Sour cherry.
I have a really big sweet tooth, so
Yeah, and again, the production of this is really good. You won't be able to see it on the camera, and I'll put a close-up of this. The label feels kind of, it's not just matte, it's like a little bit...
it's a rough textured label, so it's got some like...
It's like an incredibly fine sandpaper.
Yeah.
You know, and it works really well because it feels good in the hand. It doesn't feel like it's going to slip or anything like that. Very impressed. Very, very impressed. So this seems to have very much the same information on the back as it does on the main bottle. Although I think it has a little bit on the flavour of each one. So what we'll do is we'll taste each one and talk about the label, what it says on the label, and go over our thoughts on each one. We're going to be wasted after this, aren't we? All right, here's our very primitive bottle opener because we just moved to the country and I don't have one yet. So, honey and hops, sparkling mead. On the back it says, dry hopped with citra hops. We impart a zesty and floral flavour to our mead by using several careful additions during the fermentation process. This is where craft beer meets mead, and they get along very well. And then it says that they have a mead making course at their, what would you call it? Their meadery. So that's definitely something we should maybe check out one day, yeah. Bespoke toasting drinks. Did you know mead is a traditional drink for wedding? Oh yeah, it already says. So it has a lot of the same stuff as it does on the regular bottle. Okay, I'm definitely getting some like hops in there. It's definitely a lot more like a beer than that is. Interesting. Okay. So what it seems to have done is it's not as strong as what a regular beer is. It's kind of rounded with the honey in it.
All right.
Give that a try. Let me know what you think.
It's 4%, so it's sort of like they normally sit around about 4.3, so it is just as strong as a beer.
Yeah. This is definitely for someone who is not super a big fan of beer,
Yeah.
but wants something a bit fruitier. Well, not really fruity, but
Yeah, if you're not a cider person, but
Yeah.
you're not quite a beer person, that's like a
smack
really
bang
good
in the middle,
between.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm very impressed with that.
Again, I'd drink that easy.
Yeah. It's funny because the hops one was going to be I'm more of a cider drinker before I got introduced to mead, and you can hear that story in the introduction. And I don't really like lager per se, or I haven't found my favourite one yet. This is definitely something that I could drink.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Really nice and sweet. Again, like for a lot of people that don't like lagers, it's that sort of like bitterness of the hops. It doesn't come through at all because you've got that honey that just cuts through it.
Yeah.
Like you say, yeah, not as sweet as a cider, not as bitter as a beer. That really nice mellow in between.
Yeah.
Works really well.
Yeah. I think we should have our own review process for a traditional mead and then a review process for something like this, because they can't really put this in the same category as something
these
like
are more
this.
sort of like your ales and whatnot. Like
Yeah.
But
So for me, I would totally give that a solid 3 out of 5.
I'd give it a 5, man.
Give it a
I think,
5?
Yeah, in terms of it being both something of a mead, something of a beer, and you've got like a really nice flavour in between. That is pretty perfect.
Yeah. Okay. So the next one is honey and rhubarb. I've never had a rhubarb flavoured drink before.
I don't think I've ever had anything rhubarb that wasn't like a sweet.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so this is honey and rhubarb. On the back it says, by combining the fresh flavours of tangy rhubarb juice with our sweeter mead, we created a perfect blend of sweet and sour, sparkling, delicate and refreshing. It's like a lovely rhubarb crumble, but fizzy. What a great description.
Yeah.
All right, it's got me hyped. You can go first with this one if you want.
Yeah.
It's a big swig.
Sorry. Yeah. I like the rhubarb. The rhubarb definitely comes forward more than the honey. It's got that flavour that I'm familiar with because, again, like I've not had rhubarb as a vegetable in like what you'd see like in a custard or a crumble and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That sweetness that you would get in like the chewy sweets.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This one leans, I'd say, more of a sweeter side than the previous beer that we just had.
I think it smells better than it tastes.
You reckon?
I'm not a big fan of that one.
Oh, really?
I think it's good because it's not very strong, as in like the flavours aren't overwhelming. It's not as overwhelming as like a cider or a Copperberg or something like very, very like sweet like that. And it's not as tangy as a beer, but I do feel like the flavour is... Let me try again.
Let me just have another sip.
Yeah, it's not the flavour I'd love, but again, I'm not a massive rhubarb person.
Yeah, same.
It's very different. I'm going to give that a 2 out of 5.
See, I was going to go and give it a 3, but not because of anything negative towards it. It's just that it's more sweeter than what I'd normally drink. Because I am a lager drinker. I drink just like plain beers.
It's personal preference.
Yeah.
Personal preference. Do you want to do this one?
Yep.
This one is honey and elderflower.
This will be interesting because I've drank a few ciders that have elderflower in them.
Much more traditional
Yeah.
elderflower. Like when you think of mead flavours, elderflower is in that area.
This is a lot more subtle.
Okay.
From the smell, like you don't really get too much. You can just about get like the elderflower coming through. With the taste as well, it's the same thing. It's like a very smooth beer with a tiny bit of sweetness.
Yeah.
You can taste the elderflower. It's just like you say, it's really nice and subtle. That's Probably, if I'm going to rank them, I would put that one in between
In
these
between
two,
the
for
two.
sure.
Let me read the back real quick. It says, honey and elderflower. We have combined the classic spring flavours of fresh elderflower with our lovely honey and gently fermented them together to create a sparkling elderflower mead. A taste of spring in every bottle. It's like popping over to your grand's house and getting gently tiddly.
That's a nice description.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I like that. I really like that. Do you know what I really like about these? The fizz isn't too much and it's not overwhelming. I'm very impressed with like the feel of these beers in my mouth.
Good mouthfeel.
It has a good mouthfeel. Do you know what I mean? I would give this more of a 3.5, maybe even I'm gonna go for a 3.75. Bloody hell.
Specifically.
A 3.75 out of 5. I like that one a lot. I would, in my opinion, it would go above this one.
Really?
It would, yeah. I actually really like that one a lot. So
Interesting.
let's leave the pure honey one till last.
Yeah.
Let's go for the honey and ginger.
This will be nice. I like ginger.
You're a big fan of ginger?
I like spice.
Yeah.
I like a bit of fieriness. Hopefully this has like a bit of that in it too. Again, nothing too strong. I think it's nice and subtle enough that you can just about smell the ginger in it. Nothing's ever overpowering. Oh yeah. Like a proper root ginger.
Oh really? So it's more
Yeah.
towards the classic ginger beer than it is like
Kind of, yeah.
medicinal ginger where it's really spicy.
Yeah, like I was expecting to like have an aftertaste of like a bit of spice, a bit of fire to it.
Yeah.
It's not. It's almost like, yeah, it's just very smooth, very natural.
Okay. Honey and ginger. One for the ginger nuts out there. Ever thought about dipping a ginger biscuit in honey? Of course you have. Who hasn't? We've saved you the trouble by bringing them together, infusing root ginger in our mead for that fiery and sweet combination.
I like that.
I'm getting the very fiery ginger on the nose, like
really?
the smell of it. Yeah.
I wonder if you can smell a bit more than me because I've had a cold recently.
Maybe. Okay. So it doesn't taste like a traditional, like, fizzy ginger drink that you would get from the store. It definitely has that more of a fire to it that you get with traditional ginger being infused into, you know, a smoothie or something like that. A bit more fiery. But I like it a lot. I feel like this is definitely a slower drink than maybe something like these two. This is something that you take your time on.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of, you know, the fieriness, then you're probably going to down this in a wanna because it's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
It feels like it would, like it feels, when I'm drinking it, maybe this is because I have a lot of ginger with like smoothies and like ginger shots for like health and wellness. I feel like when I drink this, I feel like I'm healthy. Like I'm being healthy.
A healthy beer.
Do you know what I mean? It's a healthy beer. On the bloody hell scale, I'm going to give this a 2.75
Really?
out of 5. I like it. It's just I'm not a massive fan of fieriness in a drink. Well, when I say fieriness, I mean spice in a drink.
Yeah.
Spice in a drink, yeah. What about you? How many bloody hells are you going to give it?
I think I'd give it 3.5 bloody hells.
3.5 bloody hells. So where would you rank it?
Maybe
Right
between
here.
these two.
Between them two right there.
This is all relative, by the way. This is literally our first experience tasting both like an English mead, and you've also got these sort of beer.
You say English. You said English. This is
British.
Welsh.
Is it? Oh,
This
my
is Welsh.
apologies. Oh God, I'm gonna
This
have
is
people
Welsh.
coming after me.
I hope I didn't say
yes.
English earlier. Did I say English earlier?
I don't know.
Maybe I did.
If
It's
we
a
didn't,
Welsh drink.
apologise. It's Welsh.
It's Welsh, and there's going to be so many people hating us right
Nez
now.
was talking about the Wye Valley and all like.
I know. I love Wales as well. I'm sorry.
love
My
Wales.
Welsh
Sorry,
friends.
guys.
Sorry. All right, what's the last? Oh, wait, let's do the can.
Yeah, should we
I
do
want to
this?
leave the pure honey one last because I want to compare and contrast it between this one.
Yeah. Now this is
A can.
sour cherry.
Does it have the same like description on the back?
It does here.
Uh,
It has the number of bees involved.
It does, but does it? Oh, right here.
Go on.
So it does say right here. A nostalgic nod to our favourite sweets. This is a tart and complex creation with delicious cherry notes. A light fruity sourness from our selected wild culture, blended with our honey for the age-old sweet and sour crowd pleaser. So this company is actually owned by two brothers in Wales. And one of them's a beekeeper, and they use his honey for this.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Okay.
Okay, go on.
This is a lot more sour than the rest that we've had. Understandably, it's sour cherry.
Yeah.
I reckon if you are a cider fan, you'll absolutely love that.
See, I'm more of a cider drinker, so let's give this a try, shall we? Interesting. Yeah, it's definitely different than these four. You could definitely like this and not like these four, or like these and not like this.
Yeah, definitely. It's very different.
It is very, very different compared to the others, which is interesting because all these other ones are very mellow in flavour. Like the flavour's perfect in them. Don't get me wrong. I think the way that they've done the flavour, like, it's not overpowering. And my big thing when it comes to these sparkling meads and these kind of more modern meads is you still want that honey to come through, right? You still want to taste the honey, and then the flavours be added on top of that honey flavour. This one, you can taste the honey, but the sour cherry is definitely more overpowering, which some people might like that.
Yeah.
That might be their preference.
Yeah.
For me personally, I think I could drink this, but I think it would get sickly very quickly.
Yeah, it's definitely a drink that you would start with and then move on to like a more mellow drink.
Yeah, yeah. I would give this a solid. I would give it a 3.1 bloody L's.
I agree with you, and I think it's kind of hard to put it in with the rest because I would say those are definitely much more like beer and mead tasting. That is more cider tasting.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if the can has any help with that. Because traditionally you would drink more, well, not traditionally, but I would have drank more ciders out of cans and more lagers out of bottles. So I don't think whether that adds to the cider kind of experience drinking this one.
Classy.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The cider experience. Yeah. Very classy, yeah. In my opinion, I would go like this. I don't know if you feel the same way.
For me, it would be that.
Okay.
Only because I am more of a lager drinker.
Yeah.
And these flavours for me are much more sort of like what I could drink them all night.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd probably have one of these and then move on to
something like that. Now, this last one I'm very interested in because we've tasted the traditional mead, which, in my opinion, honestly, I think it's blown all these out the water, if I'm honest with you. I think this is absolutely fantastic, but you'd get wasted on it.
Yeah, but I could drink that steadily all night. I could drink these all night too, but I would drink that when I'm relaxing, and I would drink these at, like you say, like at a party and stuff if I'm socialising.
Yeah, I think this is definitely a sit down and chat thing, but I think you could make some absolutely amazing cocktails with that.
Oh, for sure.
I really think, because it's such a base mead, it's such a perfect kind of starter. You could add flavour to that and just enhance it. Like what did I give it? A 4 bloody L's out of 5.
Yeah.
Which I'd be surprised if I find another mead that gets close to it, to be honest with you. I think that if you added, for me, and before we move on to this, I just want to talk a little bit. For me, if you added something like an elderberry or a black currant to that, ooh, perfection. All right, on to the last one. This is the pure honey. So what I'm expecting from this is the same flavours that we get from this, right? The honey flavour, the fantastic honey flavour and feel in the mouth of this, but with a little bit lighter and a bit fizzier. That's what I'm hoping. I wonder if the description's different. Pure honey. This one is all about the honey. Balanced and smooth, medium sweet and refreshing. This brew showcases the delicate flavours of pure honey. Drink this and feel good about supporting pollinators. Feel good, good. That's what it literally says. Feel good, good. So let's give this a try. The last one.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
That's really good. That's impressed me a lot. That is definitely impressed me.
Oh, wow.
So it's definitely more subtle. Like, these flavors have them notes over. If you took the notes of these off, like if you took the extra flavors off and then just enhanced the honey, that's literally what this is.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, this is definitely something I could drink that at a bar all night.
Yeah.
I really could. I think that's absolutely fantastic. I'm going to give that a solid 3.9 bloody hells out of 5. I'm going to be really harsh with my rating.
Yeah.
For something to get above a 4, it's got to be...
I think I gave that one a 4. So this
You gave this one a 4.
This one gets a 4.1. The
Ooh.
only reason, like, say, like with the traditional mead, the only reason that too also got a 4 is that is my first ever like proper mead.
Correct.
And to give it a 5 straight away, it's bloody lovely, and I would definitely give it a 5. But it's the first one I've ever tried.
You got to, yeah.
We've got to play it safe.
Are you happy with this?
I'd say so.
This ranking? Obviously, this is in its own, but I'd still put it on top of all of them because I think it's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Overall, Hive Mind, I feel like has set such a high bar.
Oh god, yeah.
Because the intention is to drink meads from around the UK and enjoy their meads. I feel like the bar has really been set high with this team. These brothers have done an absolute phenomenal job, not only of making a fantastic traditional mead, but modernising it with something a little bit more of a night out drink.
Yeah, and knowing where everything comes from. Like you say, one of the brothers is a beekeeper. It's just like that's the top level of ingredients that you want, local ingredients.
It's very impressive, isn't it?
Yeah, not just from a farm that's like nearby to them.
Yeah.
They work on it. They source that honey.
Yeah, I agree. And I think with mead, a lot of it comes from the story of it.
Yeah.
Right? Mead's becoming incredibly popular right now because of the story. Obviously, we've got fan favourites like the Viking show and Game of Thrones and all these shows that people talk about drinking mead, and that's definitely brought it back quite a lot. But the history of it, the complexity of it, the culture of it, and to add onto all that history a little bit of their own story as well, I think just adds a perfect ending to that.
Yeah. In terms of like everything that we've got from them as well, even came with a little note to say cheers for ordering.
Yeah.
Which is a really nice touch, always is.
Yeah.
Thanks for your order. We hope you enjoy. Cheers. And that's from both of them, I think. Oh, that's from a lot of them, actually.
Yeah, it must be the whole team now.
Yeah.
Kat, Matt, Harrison, Lauren, Ed, and Jack.
Yeah.
So this is down in Caldecott?
Yeah, Caldecott, I'd say.
Hive Mind Meadery. They actually have a location where you can go and drink some of their stuff. We're going to have to go. We're going to have to go down one day and check it out. They have courses on. We'll leave a link down below to their website. The website's fantastic. They do have another mead.
Yeah, you can just see there.
I'll pop up a picture. And I really wanted to get this other mead because the artwork on it might be some of the best artwork I've ever seen on a drink, ever. It's got the Green Man face, if you're not sure of the Green Man story, or the stories, because there's so many of them, you should check that out. But it's a lot of mythology in there, and I can see why they've added kind of like that Welsh, Celtic story towards something that is a Welsh drink for them.
Yeah.
What was the flavour of that other one? The other flavour is... it's a traditional mead, but it's barrel aged.
Oh, that sounds nice.
So I think we should try that next time. Sorry, you were going to say something?
Just something as well that you get on this little leaflet. You obviously get like a list of all the flavours. You've even got the team on the back there. But you've got here our bees and our honey, and you can buy their honey.
Actual honey.
It just goes to show that they've got everything covered when brewing. It's just, I think it's really good. Really like off to a flying start.
Yeah.
Really set the bar high with our first taste.
It has set the bar high, hasn't it? I don't think we're going to get many of these more modern mead drinks. I think it's mostly going to be these.
Yeah.
And then when that does happen, I think we should have some sort of visual scale of rankings for all these.
For the traditional meads.
For the traditional meads.
Yeah.
This is a bit more fun, with it being our first review tasting. I also want to say that we are hoping to get better at reviewing and tasting. I know that the wine culture has a very... complex way of reviewing wines, and I do want to get to that standard at some point. But again, this is our first review on here, and we're hoping that you can join us on this journey of not only learning how to taste and enjoy mead, learning about the history, the culture of mead, but also making it ourselves.
Yeah, brewing it.
You don't brew mead, you make mead.
You make mead.
Apparently. That's something else we've got to learn as well.
Yeah.
Any last words?
No, I think, again, off to a great start. Definitely fancy rating traditional style meads. Always good if the same place gives us the option to have like these style of drinks.
Yeah.
If we do ever get the privilege of visiting Hive Valley Meadery itself, I think these two, obviously we'll start with a nice glass of their traditional meads, but I reckon we'll be on these quite a lot of the night.
Quite a lot, yeah, I agree. And we've got a lot more drinking ahead of us.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. I hope you can join in the next video. Every Sunday a video will be out. And until next time, take it easy. Cool.
Aye. I think we also need to have a scale of how rosy my cheeks go.
Right.
Because the more alcohol I drink, the rosier my cheeks go.